giant leaps for mankind. That's one small step for man.
But to end divisions.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
They were involved in political action on the highest level of human service.
When we allow freedom reign, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey people, what's going on? I want to thank y'all for joining us on another episode of Real Tough Talk. I'm Stephen J, my partner Ghost, and this, we got a lot of football things we want to talk about, but as always, this is another year where we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and as you see, we always lead off the show with some words from him and some touching moments, and definitely we're going to keep that going like we've always done, and this week is just another week that we do that.
And usually you start off with me asking me, so I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the thing that you remember most of Martin Luther King?
Wow. I think if I had to sum it all up, I would say sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I would say somebody who put it all on the line to send a message for our people. I think it is amazing that the fact that he always claimed that he may not reach the mountaintop with us. So it seems like he always knew that he wouldn't be able to fully see the fruits of his labor, all the work that he put in to get us where he always saw us to be, where we're still trying. We haven't arrived yet, but we are in a better position to get to that mountaintop that he saw us going to.
And I'm going to make two... I'm going to say one thing that a lot of people look at him as he was a civil rights leader that fought for, African Americans or whatever, but he actually fought for everybody. He fought for the common man, the common American, especially those who were downtrodden, those who were struggling, those who, wanted to have a better life. He fought for all of those people, fighting against the system that was and the system that still is, and that's kind of the fight that we continue on today. And I compare him to me, like you remember saying that he won't be with us to the promised land.
He was able to make it. Yeah.
It's similar to, the story of Moses.
Right.
That, he led his people out of Egypt, and even though he wasn't able to see the promised land himself, he died before the Israelites made it to the promised land. It's similar that he fought for them and he made sure that they had the path to move forward so they reached there. So it's a similar story, and a similar outcome.
Right.
The difference is we're not there yet in terms of what we're trying to reach, but we obviously have a path that we can follow to move forward.
And we got to thank him for all that. And a lot of things that we are able to do now we wouldn't have if it wasn't for him. And bottom line, regardless of your belief in politics, your belief in religion, no matter what you want to say, what side you want to be on, what thoughts and personals you have, we try to explain to y'all guys that it's bigger than football. There's a lot of things going on outside that's bigger than this that we're doing, way bigger. So that's why I said we can't bring that negative energy here. We can't bring all those problems here because this football platform is for us to escape what's going on outside. It allows us to lose ourselves in what's going on in the outside world. This is our dome. This is our escape. And we got to stop bringing that negative stuff that goes on outside into this world, because then the world that we live in as far as football isn't sacred anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we got to remember. Like I said, being the fact that it's Martin Luther King's birthday and we're celebrating, we got to realize that, again, there's a lot of real things going on, and this football platform is our escape. is a hobby. So we got to keep it pure and secure it going forth in the future.
Well said.
So we're going to jump into the game. Now that we finish all that and we show our due respect, we're going to jump into the games that's going on today. And the first game we're going to jump on is Them Gettas versus Never Scared. Now, Never Scared, last game, they lost to Grindtime. And Them Gettas, their last game, they lost to UTF.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now, both teams aren't doing too well.
Yeah.
Both teams right now have not gotten a win this season. But both teams are in two completely different paths on the issues that's going on with the teams. Them Gettas, they're missing their starting quarterback, Reggie, who's not going to be here either again today. And they're missing their leader, Hollywood. I think the things that are going on with the additions with Ralph and Light and Bones and Lou, those additions can take this team to the next level. But because they don't have their quarterback and they don't have their leader and they don't even have their backup quarterback in Hood, this team is experiencing issues. That's the reason why Them Gettas are the 7th offense in the league. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, you got Never Scared who do have their quarterback. The issue is, 1, they have a terrible defense, and 2, they lead the league in drops, which they led the league in last season. Those will kill you. I think they struggle with leadership. I think they brung Brandon in. Brandon's one of the most talented offensive players in the league. He's a reigning UFL offensive player of the year. He's not going to play this game because of personal issues. He's going to be here, but he's not going to play. The problem with that is we haven't really seen him step up as a leader. He has all the experience. He's done been through there, and I need to see him step up as a leader. And unfortunately, him not being there today is going to take a hit on that. But at the end of the day, Never Scared is real issues. They can't catch the football, and they can't stop anybody.
And the thing that's disappointing as it is that a lot of these guys, I've seen them play in different teams or whatever.
What team?
I've seen guys with Never Scared play on different teams or whatever. But it seems like when they come together and play on this team, it seems like all of that talent just falls through. Like they start dropping passes that they wouldn't normally drop. But it seems normal when they play for this team. I don't understand what it is, because I'm not going to say that Fred is having the most terrific season of all time. Like, he's throwing perfect passes and then they're just dropping it.
Right.
But then when he is throwing well, when he's throwing passes that they can catch, they drop it. And that's what kills them, and that's what throws Fred's game off. And I think that is probably one of the main reasons why it's reflecting on their record right now. Them Gettas, obviously, you mentioned the quarterback issue, but they haven't been as consistent on defense either. And I think that's kind of the things, like, maybe it's because the offense is spilling into the defense because they don't have a strong offense, which Them Gettas didn't always have a strong defense as it was.
Correct.
They had an okay defense, but their offense was what they were known by. But the fact that they don't have that anymore just shows how they could step back, and that's why they're in 7th right now.
All right, we're going to jump right into the game now. Reggie's not here, who's their starter. Hood is not here, who's their backup. But the third guy that we've seen throw well, which is Peter, he's here. But they don't start him. They start Slick. Now, Slick has thrown for other teams in EHS. He's thrown. I think they should have went with Peter. We both agreed on that when we talked off camera. But we're going to have to see what happens with the fact that they went with Slick. After getting the first down, Slick throws deep to Peter, who stops running in the gap. Picked off by Sean. Never Scared gets the ball back. Right after getting the first down, Slick throws the interception. Lou was wide open, and he doesn't throw it to him here. And my thing is, Sean, we has talked about his game slacking a little bit since he won most improved player. They need him to be this type of defender, and he comes away with a big pick.
I mean, I'm not going to give him too much credit because this was pretty much a toss-up play. Hopefully this can be an improvement and they can feed off of this. But in terms of Them Gettas, it seems like they had a miscommunication there with Slick and Peter. It seems like he thought that he was going to go downfield. Peter cuts down in the gap, and because of that, nobody's there to catch the ball, and at least an easy interception.
Second down, Fred throws a Mamba on the sideline for a nice gain. Fourth down, Fred with blocking from Ricky, throws to Eric, cutting in the middle for a nice gain, getting the first down. Ricky's the best blocker in the league. I'm going to say it. I'm going to stamp it. I'll put my paycheck on it. I'll put my family's paycheck on him. He's the best blocker in this league. And the issue is with them is, how can you not be able to catch the ball when Ricky gives the quarterback more time than any other quarterback in the league? It amazes me. Fred, with nice blocking by Ricky, throws a Mamba in the middle, getting him to the 10-yard line. 4th and goal. Fred on 4 rush, throws to Eric in the end zone. Incomplete, turnover on downs. If you look here, the receivers are not moving into the end zone, and then Eric gets caught for cursing, 15-yard penalty.
I don't know what it is. First it was just them not catching the ball, but now they're not separating themselves from the defenders, and because of that, Fred ends up throwing the pass away.
Second down, Slick with his blitz and sacked by Josh. If you look here, Ricky fakes the blitz and Josh comes from the sideline. That's what Ricky did with Carver. Ricky's not a big-time defender, but he came in on certain blitz packages, and him and Danny did this better than any other team in the league. You see he's bringing out over the next Never Scared. Big sack by Josh. 4th down, Slick on 4 rush, throws to Peter in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. After 2 short passes, Slick is blitzed by Josh, rolls right, throws to Randy on the sideline, bobble, caught out of bounds, incomplete. It's going to take us a last down. Slick is going to throw it up, incomplete, turnover on downs, Never Scared gets the ball back.
And they don't capitalize off of the defensive play. They drive down the field, but when it matters most, they're not able to move the ball, and they end up turning the ball over, giving it right back to the opposing team. Yes, they don't have their starting quarterback, but you got to have a game plan on offense, and it seems like they don't, and they're struggling to get into the end zone. After
getting the first down, Fred on 4 rush, throws deep to Donovan in the front of the end zone. That's going to be dropped. As always, this team does that better than anybody in the league. 3rd down, Fred is blitzed by Light, throws to Sean in the gap, picked off by Bones, giving him the ball back. Mama's open in the gap, and Fred misses him. This is what happened every time Fred attempts to make a play. When he feels like he can't depend on his receivers, he gives the ball away, and he does it again.
And clearly that was a forced pass right there, because Bones was waiting for it. That was pretty much a lollipop that was thrown to him, and he's right there to take it. So at the end of the day, your receivers got to make catches, especially that one catch that would have been a touchdown. They wouldn't be in this situation if the pass was caught. Because of that, Fred forces an interception here.
Slick throws deep to Randy on the sideline. Gets a hand in it, but can't hold on to it. Drop. Butho gets ejected for cursing. This is Butho's 2nd ejection of the season. He has come to the season to play defense, and it seems like he's playing more sideline than defense. Last play of the half, Slick throws it up, knocked away, taking us into the half, 0-0.
And the fact that there were opportunities on both teams to get into the end zone and none of them capitalized, it just shows that, both of these teams are suffering in different ways, but also similar ways. Their offense cannot put up points. That's what the main thing that they both have in common. Never Scared, though, is they were right in the end zone with that pass to Donovan. This should have been a completely different game, but because these guys are not able to hold routine passes, that makes Fred force interceptions, force passes that they don't need to force, and it's not like their defense is going to step up. The only thing that's saving them right now is the opposing defense is doing just as bad, but I don't see how long this is going to hold. They need to fix this in the second half.
I completely disagree with you. Both teams are just bad. They just bad.
Of course, you got to one up with me.
And all they need is some apples to go with these turnovers. That's how bad it is right now. They need some apples for we can all have a dessert, because it's going to be better making it than actually watching this game right now. This game is an embarrassment to everything that I am right now, because right now all they doing is giving the ball back and forth. But I feel like I'm watching tennis right now. That's what it seems like right now to me. At the end of the day, you have a possibly Hall of Fame quarterback in the UFL, Fred, lacking, making mistakes. But it's because his offense can't help him. And on the other side, this Gettas team has no leader. And I'm more frustrated with Trackstar, because you would expect, because his brother's not here, it's his turn to turn it up. It's his turn to lead. And I didn't even know he was in the game. Is he here? I don't even know. I don't know if Trackstar is here. Somebody get an APP on Trackstar. I don't know where he's at, but he's definitely not on his field. Both these teams look bad, and this might best be a game for just bad teams, because they look terrible right now. Hopefully they can turn it around in the second half. We're going to turn it around. Never Scared gets the ball. 3rd down, Fred throws deep to Mamba, who has a step on Randy. Another drop. 4th down, Fred with blocker from Ricky, throws a Mamba in the middle, knocked away by Track, turnover on downs, and we have located Trackstar. He has finally made a play and made a play that count. That's a turnover.
And the thing about this play is Trackstar was able to keep up with Mamba this whole play, knowing that that was the only option that he had left, trying to get the first down. He's able to lock up on this play, step up, and knock that pass away. That's some good defense by them there.
Slick with 2 passes in the gap for a decent game. Third down, Slick on 4 rush, runs short for ends tagged. If you look here, Peter's open on the sideline. Slick misses him. Fourth down, Slick on 4 rush, throws to Peter in the front of the end zone. Peter and Light drop the ball, picked off by Sean, who runs and pitches it to Jerem, getting all the way to the 10-yard line. It's nice to share. I think sharing is a good thing. Now when it comes to catching the football, somebody has to make a play. If we're on the same team and it's 2 of us, one of us should catch the ball. These guys must not have got that memo, and they both drop the ball together, and it gets intercepted.
And this just shows that the whole time from the first half to the second, these guys have no game plan on offense. They don't know who the ball is going to. They don't know who's supposed, who's supposed to be a part of the play,
right,
who's not. So it seems like they all just jump in. They saw the ball in the air and they both jumped at it. If I think that this pass clearly was to Peter. If Light would have left it alone, this probably would have been a touchdown. But because they both go at it at the same time, they both knock it out of each other's hands, and Sean, with the awareness that he has, gets his second interception of the day and is able to get them some good field position to get into the end zone.
Fred on first down, hands the ball to Mamba with nice block that runs on the sideline in the end zone for a touchdown. 6-0, never scared.
And this is probably the smartest play that they made all game. They use their size, they lock, they block. They give Mamba, who's fast enough to cut to the sideline, the opportunity to run into the end zone. And this last block by Donovan seals the deal, getting Mamba into the end zone. Great offense by them there.
First down, Slick throws deep to Bones in the gap. Tip, bobble, picked off by Julian. Given never scared the ball back. If you look at it, it was pass interference called in the offense. That's going to be declined. And never scared, them Gettas must not realize the key is not to give the team the ball. This is their 3rd interception of the day, and whatever's was working, was not working, isn't working, not working, nothing's working. But I guess they decide to keep trying. I guess this team is trying to fit a triangle into a square, and they mean it's gonna get in, and they don't realize it's not.
I mean, what else can you say? The fact that they're not able to fix the mistakes, and the mistakes at this point in the time is their quarterback. They obviously, that was Slick who threw that interception. I think that's his 3rd. By this time, it's time to take him out, guys. It's time to go to the bullpen, and it's time to switch. And you have Peter there, nothing against Slick, but Peter had a better rhythm on this offense. So you put him in, he has a better shot at moving the ball. They realized that too late, and by this time, they already threw their 3rd interception.
After getting the first down, Fred throws to Donovan on the sideline for a nice game. Second down, Fred throws it to Sean in the gap. Tipped by Trackstar, picked off by Randy. Great play by them Gettas defense. Trackstar's finally making plays, and he must have heard me talking about him at halftime. He came away with one play that he knocked down in the drive, and another play which he made a tip and it got intercepted.
But the main thing is all of this effort has to be capitalized on offense, but give it to the defense to hold the best way that they can to get their offense back on the field here.
Second down, Peter comes in the game now. I guess they finally decided they want to try to win this game. Second down, Peter is blitzed and sacked by Josh. Josh, 2nd sack of the day. He's been one of their best blitzers. He's definitely doing what they expected him to do. Come in, helping his defense out. Great play by him there. Third down, Peter on 4 rush, runs on the sideline for a nice gain and first down. This is what he does well. This kid can run the ball. His feet work very well, and he gets him a first down here.
And this is him doing what he has to do to make sure that they keep the ball moving. So the fact that he's able to take off helps. That gives them another dimension for them to move the ball during this drive. Him running the ball may make the defense have to step up, and he can be able to throw over the top.
Next play, Peter throws a Rob in the gap. That's going to be dropped. Third down, Peter is blitzed by Ricky. Rolls right, throws a track, low, incomplete, Gettas after punt. That is another stop by this never scared defense. Something they don't really do, they're doing today.
And you got to give them credit. They have 3 interceptions total today on defense. They're able to pressure the quarterback. They were able to force some turnovers, and they continue that trend with another turnover here.
Never Scared is going to struggle to move the ball, and they're going to end up punting. 3rd down. Peter is blitzed by Ricky, who runs in the gap for a decent gain. Great run by him there. 4th down. Peter throws a slick on the sideline. Nice game, picking up the 1st down. Last play of the game, Peter throws it up incomplete, ending the game. Never Scared comes away with the win, 6-0. We're going to go to the interview with Ricky and Fred, and then we'll be right back with our final follow-up.
Ready?
Never Scared, baby.
What's going on?
Scared,
Stephen J here with Never Scared right here, Ricky and Fred. Fred, how frustrating it is when your guys be dropping so many passes, lead the league last year and leading the league right now?
It's always frustrating, but we just got to make it up every week. Every week is frustrating. You got 5-yard drops, touchdown drops, but as long as they come out and play hard, we good. We'll step it up. We'll get better.
Defense played a lot better the last few weeks. What was the adjustments you think you made? I'm passing it to you. Defense been playing well the last 2 weeks. What adjustments you had to make?
Listen, everybody's listening. Everybody's playing their role. Communication is key. One guy's doing something on the stunt. The other guy got to know what he's doing. The safety got to know what he's doing. Everybody's gelling.
What adjustments do you have to be prepared for coming in to the rest of the season, going to the playoffs? You done won a few championships here. You know what needs to be done. What this team needs to do?
Well, defense been getting better, so we still got to get better. There's a couple of things we got to get down packed. Definitely got to catch the ball. A lot of receivers are dropping the ball, as you can see. Wide open passes. Sometimes it's tough, but the ball's in your hands. You got to catch the ball. Catch the ball. This game is not even close.
We're going to thank these guys from here. 6-0, they're on the win column. The team is dangerous. Come to playoffs. We're going to have to see what happens. Thanks.
All right. Definitely, we're going to thank those guys for the interview. What do you think? Jump in and tell me, what do you think about the game?
First of all, not an entertaining game at all. I could say that. It wasn't that there was just good defense or whatever. It's just both sides on offense were terrible. They struggled to find a way into the end zone. And even the touchdown that the Never Scared was able to score was pretty much off of the heels of that interception that they ran back all the way to the 10-yard line. So if it wasn't for that, I don't think that they would have had the ability to drive to the end zone and score. This probably would have been a tie game, zip. But because them Gettas' offense was that much worse, that's what gave Never Scared the window to have that one touchdown to seal a deal with the win.
The main thing with them Gettas is the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They compete better when they got Hood. They compete better when they have Reggie. Holloway haven't really been here this season. I think that has a lot to do with it. But this team is more than capable of winning games without him. They got about 4 6-foot guys in Bones, in Ralph, in Light, and in Lou. 4 receivers that's all over 6 foot. I don't want to play this team in the playoffs if they can get it all together with everybody. And they don't have a lot of speed, as far as those guys. Those guys I just mentioned aren't known for speed. But they're big and they can go get the football. They just got to figure out who's going to be throwing it to them. Now, defensively, those same guys, most of them play defense. I think this defense is going to be lacking, which is why, they have the 7th defense in the league. They're not going to be able to keep up with a lot of people because they got a lot of hype but not enough speed. But I think this is a very dangerous team. On the other side, Never Scared comes away with the win, but I wouldn't celebrate. I wouldn't get a parade. I wouldn't pop the champagne because they won 6-0 and the touchdown they got was a running play. They could not even throw a touchdown. This team drops the ball so much. They average at least 4 drops a game. At least 4 drops a game. And then when you have a defense who finally makes stops today, but they made stops against a team with no quarterback. So you can't sit down and sell the farm on this. This team got to figure it out, because they could definitely be dangerous in the playoffs. Brandon has to get involved in the offense. He has to play next week. He has to be the guy that they went out and got. He has to. Buto got to shut up and stop getting ejected because he is very valuable to this defense. Very valuable. And they need to let Ricky take over. We're going to have to see where they go from here. We're going to wrap this game up. Never Scared coming over with the win over them. Gettas 6-0. We'll be right back. All right, people, thanks for coming back with us. Next game we're going to go over is Grindtime versus UTF. Grindtime's coming off of a win to Never Scared. And UTF coming in off of a split. They beat them Gettas last week, but they lost at PME.
Yeah.
Who do you think this game is more important to? UTF or Grindtime? And why?
It's hard to say because it's important for both, and I can say why. The Grindtime game, they're still trying to make up for that tie that they had earlier this season.
Yeah.
So, they want to make up for that by winning certain games, and this game will help them.
Because they're trying to catch PME.
Yes, and so this game, they can't afford to lose because they'll drop even lower than they already are.
Which is in second right
now. And UTF, because of the split last week, they have to recover from that by winning because that'll bring them down in the standings as well. They were flying high until last week.
Right.
Last week was their first test, and because they split, they're now they can be challenged in that division now. So they want to win this game to keep themselves on top of that division. If they lose this, they drop down and they probably lose their position at the top.
And my thoughts of UTF has to show that they can beat top teams. And that's always been the big kill on Ramsey's resume. And on the other side, Grindtime is trying to get back to a championship. Mm-hmm. They were in this league last year and they went to a championship. They was at 161. They know what it feels like. Yeah. But they was there in the daytime.
Yeah.
It's going back to the night this year. So they didn't get the full effect. But bottom line is they were there.
Yeah.
It still was the same atmosphere, just a different time of day. But my thing is they know what it feels like. They were up in that game in the chip last year. So they got a bitter taste in their mouth as they try to come back and get back to that championship and this time come away with it. So this is another team that I believe stand in their way, and they're trying to rack up as many wins against good teams as they can in order to prepare them for the playoff push. All right, we're going to jump right into the game. After getting the first down, Lou on 4 rush is sacked by Pito. Pito has been playing great all season. He's the reason why UTF is the top team in sacks. He plays that position well, and he comes over with another sack here. Second down, Lou is blitzed and sacked by Machine. If you look here, Machine fights through Black, and Lou never sees him. Grindtime is forced to punt. Machine was one of their best signings in the offseason to help that defense. He brings the pressure. He allows them to be able to pursue the quarterback. And with him and Pito together, that's why UTF is second in the league in sacks. Ramsey gets the ball. Ramsey's going to roll left. Throw deep to Ray, who has a step on Mimi. Caught in the gap for a big game, picking up the first down. This is the old Ramsey getting back at it. I'm talking about the old Ramsey of the first 2 games.
Yeah.
He looks confident. He looks like he has the ability to go downfield. And Ray has become one of his favorite guys to go to. Again, these guys connect. Third down after a short pass. Ramsey is blitzed by Chino. Scrambles. Throws it to Ray in the gap. Incomplete. UTF has to punt. And that is a great defensive stand by Grindtime.
And after they were able to drive and get the first down, that's when the defense was able to buckle up and slow down their pursuit downfield. That is the way that, okay, you gave them the first down, now you gave them the first down, but now your defense is able to buckle up and slow down their offense. You're able to close out the gaps and stay with their receivers, give Ramsey less options out there, and he had no other choice but to punt.
Lou throws a ball wide open in the middle for a nice gain. Third down, Lou on 4 rush, dodges the tag, throws the ball on the sideline for a nice gain and the first down. This is what Lou does well. Lou does not like to run. It's not a running quarterback. But I like to call him Russell Wilson because of his movement in the pocket. He can scramble in the pocket to buy his receivers time, and he's able to do that here again and find Bo. Second down, Lewis blitzed by Machine, steps up and throws the E-Rock in the gap, incomplete. That is a great play by Machine to bring the pressure and forced Lou to throw the ball a little faster than he wanted. Third down, Lou on 4 rush, throws deep to Bo in the end zone, picked off by Lowe's, giving it back to UTF. Everybody is covered. This is a terrible throw by Lou. I think this offensive drive wasn't great because of that pressure that they put earlier. But I think this play, they didn't run routes. Everybody just went out, so he took a shot to go after his best receiver, and you had Lowe's who was waiting for it. He gets the interception.
And I'm going to talk about 2 plays. So I'm going to talk about that first play where he got blitzed and was forced to throw the ball. He gets contact from Machine as he rushes in right after he throws the ball. You know, he was a little upset about the contact. He said that he got hit in the back of the head. But if you look at this play, Machine got in so well that when the block comes, they push Machine from behind him. And Machine, when he goes to make the tag, you know, it kind of brushes high. And
But it's because of the push.
Yeah, but the fact that the blockers allow Machine to slip by so easily puts Lou in that pressure and puts him in that predicament. And that's one of the things that I believe affect the next play that we showed when he throws this interception here. Lou's worried about the pressure now. Yes, they got rid of the blitz, but now he's worried about getting the ball up a 4-4 rush. And because of that, this play I think was rushed and it was forced and it ended up being interception.
And Lou was upset with this. He kind of got upset with me, wanted me to throw a flag, wanted me to protect him. There's nothing I could do about this play. The guys pushed him into Lou, and he needed to get on his guys for not protecting him. A lot of times when this offensive line give a sack to get your quarterback hit, you got to get on them. These are plays that the refs cannot help you with if your blockers was the one that pushed him into you, causing that play. But again, you're going to have Lowe there getting the interception. Second down, Ramsey on 4 rush, runs in the gap for a nice game, but falls across the 50, getting the first down early. What do you think of that? Is that going to hurt him later?
It might, because that this is exactly what happened before when they got the first down. They weren't able to move the ball afterwards. So this early first down may slow down their offense, gives them less options downfield, and because of that, now they have to start the drive again from right here.
Ramsey throws a Pito open in the gap for a nice game. 4th and goal after the short pass. Ramsey rolls left, finds G in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. G gets the extra point, 7-0. G is playing like an all-star this year. If he does not make the all-star team, it should be highway robbery. Ramsey finds him, another score for this guy.
And one thing I could say about G is, yes, he's known as a blocker. He's previously won Block of the Year in this league years past, but he's shown that he's also a capable receiver, and he's been one of the go-to guys for UTF this season in the red zone. And I believe he has 4 or 5 touchdowns. Don't quote me when we have the stats later on, but he's been probably the most consistent offensive player on his team, and he gets yet another touchdown.
Third down, Lou on 4 rush, throws to Anthony in the gap, who pitches to Shaw on the sideline, who runs across the field for a big gain, picking up the first down. This was a play that they went crazy. G got a call, flag for cursing on his field. He got mad at me. He got angry, started yelling at me, thought it was a terrible call. What do you think of the play?
And I'm going to do what I always do with close plays like this. I'm going to slow it down frame by frame to see what exactly happened. But before I even show it, we already know the rule that I always say, if you have to slow it down frame by frame, then this play can go either way. It's not a clear-cut play like a lot of people say on the field, so I'm going to slow it down. And on this play here, it looks like Anthony just gets the ball up before Ray is able to make the tag. So they argued it, but if you look at the frame, the ball is out of his hands before he gets tagged. So that is a no call. You don't get the flag, you don't get a call because he was not tagged before the pitch.
And my issue is, I like to say a lot of the players are killing the game because they don't let us officials do what we do. We are good at what we do. I consider myself good at what I do. Like these guys consider them good players. I consider myself a good ref, and I take pride in what I do. And a lot of the calls I made, they were right more than they were wrong. I'm not going to say I'm not going to make mistakes. I've emphasized, I've showed when I've made mistakes. But I want to hear these same teams that bash and yell and get mad apologize when they're wrong, and let the officials do their job. And unless you're strapping up the black and whites to come on the field and do this job, or unless you have done this job, you shouldn't be willing to criticize because you have no idea. We've done that.
I've done it.
Yes, he was terrible. We've done that, meaning I've played, but a lot of these guys haven't ref. Anyway, we're going to jump right back into the game. Second down, Lou finds Scott in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Anthony gets the extra point. Grindtime's able to tie it right back up, 7-7.
And Grindtime is able to recover. They struggled early in the game, and they weren't able to get into the end zone. But finally, they finally able to drive into the end zone. They protect Lou, and Lou is able to be confident in the pocket and make these throws. And if you're able to do that, that's when the scoring starts to come up, because they're one of the better scoring teams in this league.
Correct.
But you gotta protect Lou. They're able to do that in this drive, and because of that, they're able to score.
Ralph is going to get a nice return, but it's tagged at the 40-yard line, taking us into the half 7-7. Now, this is a slow-paced game. This is the number 1 and 2 teams in scoring.
Yeah.
UCF number 1, Grindtime number 2, and it's surprised to see a 7-7 tie. If I'm UTF, I got to find a way to put points up, because my defense is 6th in the league. They don't stop very well. Not a great defense. So we know it's going to be a matter of time before Grindtime starts scoring. We have to score on the offense. We need Ramsey to be able to show that he's better than Lou. Right now, these two guys are battling for MVP. Ramsey has to show that he is better than Lou. This is the stage. This is the opportunity. He definitely has to show it coming in the second half.
And one thing I got to say, Grindtime has to put pressure on Ramsey. They got to force him, get him frustrated. Because one thing about Ramsey is after he gets frustrated, he starts becoming old gunslinger Ramsey. He starts forcing passes and throws interceptions. Whenever you challenge him and bait him into making these throws, more times than not, you're going to come away with a few interceptions. So we got to put pressure on him. They got to put pressure on him and bait him enough to force him to throw those passes. And eventually they're going to break through, and Ramsey's going to start falling apart by the seams, and he's going to start turning over the ball.
We're going to jump right into the second half. After getting the first down, Ramsey throws to Damu on the sideline for a decent gain. Third down, Ramsey scrambles on 4 rush, throws to Pito in the gap, knocked away by Shaw. Pito was open early in the play. Ramsey waited too long to throw it. UCF has to punt.
And right away, UTF, from the first drive, they were not able to get open, get downfield on certain drives, because Grindtime's defense, they're able to lock up. Their secondary is covering the receivers, giving Ramsey less options to throw. And that's something that they got to keep doing. If they're not going to be able to pressure and force the pressure, they got to have their secondary stay with the receivers. They're doing either or. Right now, they're staying with the receivers, and they're able to force a punt.
Second down, Lou throws a ball in the gap. That's going to be dropped. Third down, Lou is blitzed by Damu, who's blocked by E-Rock and Mike. Lou throws it to Bo in the gap for a decent gain. Grindtime's going to have to punt. That is a great defensive stop by UTF.
And the funny thing is, 2 of the best offensive teams getting stopped by their opposing defenses. This is a weird game that I'm watching. Two offensive juggernauts in the league playing good defense against each other. I would have never expected that in this game. I thought this was going to be a shootout, but now we're seeing a fight on defense. This is a weird game right here.
Second down, Ramsey throws to Ray on the sideline. The ball's in the air too long. Picked off by Kaka, giving the ball back to Grindtime. Great interception by them on second down.
And this is a terrific play by this Grindtime
Break it down for us, brother.
Now, if you look here, first of all, the 2 receivers that's short, I think is key to this play.
Correct.
And that's G and that is JP. They run into the gaps and they stop. So the linebackers here have all of this space, all of this real estate that they can play with to guard. They can guard multiple receivers in this area. So they're able to stay stationary and clog up this area.
Right.
Ramsey can't make any early throws in the gaps. Because of that, you see Pito and you see Ray crossing in the gap here. You see Pito crossing on the outside. You see Kakao in the corner. You see Ray cutting to the sideline.
Also, you see Ralphie cutting up the middle.
Yes.
Shy is there, so that's not a
he's
throw.
out the play. Shy is with him, so he's not an option. You see Mimi able to float on the other side in secondary, and then you at safety, and then you see Kaka fake like he's going to follow Pito, then cut back as Ray cuts right into his area. And then as soon as that ball is thrown, Kaka is fast enough to step up and make this play. One thing you got to say is Kaka is fast above anything else, and he's able to make a great play for the interception.
And they baited Ramsey.
Yes.
They baited Ramsey. They dared him to make a big play. They followed your formula and knew he was going to give him an opportunity to get the ball back, and that's exactly what he does. He falls for the trap and throws an interception. That's going to give Lou the ball back. And on third down, Lou's going to roll right on 4 rush and find Anthony in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 13-7. Anthony's another guy who should be on the All-Star team. This kid is playing great offensively. We seen him come away with a great game against Carver in the Final Four last year. This kid is good. He slowed down his trash talk, stepped up his game, and that's why this kid is an all-star.
And he is fully focused to helping this offense move the ball downfield. And anytime you don't see him touching the ball on offense, they are not as effective on offense as they normally would be. So you see him stepping up, and when you add all these other players and him leading the charge in the gaps, they are a dangerous offense, and that's why they're second in offense.
Second down, Ramsey on 4 rush, runs on the sideline for a nice gain, picking up the first down. Ramsey throws to JP in the gap for a decent gain. Second down, Ramsey on 4 rush, throws to Frankie in the gap. The ball is bobbled, picked off by Shah, who runs it all the way to the 40-yard line, giving it back to this Grindtime offense.
And this was a play that was, they complained about on UTF side. They said that they wanted a pass interference, but we're going to slow this play down and just look at it close up here. If you look, as Frankie runs, out for the pass, he turns around expecting a pass right there, and he starts backpedaling. Ramsey makes an inaccurate pass trying to keep it away from the defender, and he throws it on the outside. By the time Frankie's able to go for the ball, he has to stretch out for it. Chino's in the vicinity there. As Frankie backs up, he backpedals and he loses his balance as he tries to extend his arm to try to get the ball.
Right.
They wanted a pass interference saying Chino had the contact, but if you look, Frankie was already losing his balance, so it's not like he was forced down or anything like that. Chino's there just playing defense. So every now and then you're going to have a defender locking up. They're going to, they're going to touch each other.
Right.
They're going to feel each other out. That's what happened. But by then, the pass is already thrown. So I don't see any ref bailing this offense out with a pass interference when the defenders are just feeling each other out. If you wanted a flag like that, there will be flags on every single offensive play. So that's exactly what that doesn't happen, and that leads to interception there.
No ref is going to give him a flag for that. And one of the refs was standing right there. First of all, it was a bad throw.
Yeah.
Terrible throw by Ramsey. Second of all, Frankie loses his balance because he's trying to save the pass, because the ball should be thrown in this area to the outside. Ramsey tries to lob it with touch and throws a terrible pass. Now, Frankie does have the defender is feeling him.
Yeah.
No ref is going to give you that call. It wasn't contact. He didn't push him. He felt him the same way a defender will feel the receiver as he's going back downfield. He didn't push him. He didn't shove him. He felt him, but that was a terrible throw by Ramsey. Terrible throw. This offense don't know where they're at. It hurts after you just coming off of throwing an interception, and they turn it over there. Grindtime's going to struggle to move the ball and get stopped at the 20-yard line, turnover on downs. They're going to, UTF gets the ball back. Second down, Ramsey on 4 rush, rolls right, throws the Los in the gap for a big gain, picking up the first down. Los and Machine are 2 great pickups these guys have made. They have impacted the game every time they're at the game. Definitely great play by him, by Los there. Third down, Ramsey on 4 rush, throws to Ralphie on the sideline, out of bounds, incomplete. If you look here, 4 receivers are all in the same area. These guys know how to run routes. Last play of the game, Ramsey throws it up, knocked away, and in the game, Grindtime comes away with the win, 13-7.
And I got to talk about that other play where they had 4 guys in the same area. Because you have another guy blocking, because you have all of these guys in the same area, there's going to be gaps that's open. They're not using the whole field. Guys are rolling out in the same area, and because of that, the defenders can stay there and just guard each other's man. They can guard this whole area by themselves. So the receivers are supposed to extend the field by spreading the defense out. That opens up the gaps for other receivers, but because they're staying in the same area, Ramsey had no target. That forces this next play where he has to toss it up. You could have got some good yardage in that last play, but because they're not running good routes, that forces that last play, and that leads to them not being able to score.
I'm going to go over both teams real quick. I think UTF is in trouble, but I'm going to talk about Grindtime first. Lou got to be up there for MVP. 14 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, and he missed 1 game. His offense is second in scoring. He's in second in touchdown passes. Only Ramsey has more, but Ramsey has more picks. He's the only starter, right? He only has 3 interceptions. The only starter that has less is Rel, and he has more touchdown passes than Rel. Lou is up there for MVP. I think this is his award to give away. I think Ramsey hurt his stock as he was doing well. Also, this Grindtime team is 4-1-1.
Yeah.
They lead the league. They're in second in scoring. This team is in tied for second in defense. First in interceptions. And they're fourth in sacks. This is the top team. Other than PME, who I think is just a little bit better. Grindtime is a top team led by their quarterback. Now, on the other side, shouts to them. Great game right here, the way they put this away. Anthony having a great season. Kaka playing very well. This team, Bo hasn't even caught fire like he did last season, and this team is still winning games. You know, people get mad because I could be a little creative in what I say. Fine. People get mad because they feel I'm being disrespectful in what I'm saying. Fine. But people cannot get mad because no matter what, I speak the truth. You know what they say? And you could put this on the shirt. The truth sounds like hate to people who hate the truth. Say it again.
Okay.
The truth sounds like hate to people who hate the truth. Ramsey's problem last season is the same problem he had this season. Ramsey's problem in his career is the same problem he has in his whole career. It's not the interceptions. He can't beat winning teams. You know, his first 3 games, the team was 3-0. The man went 13-1. 13 touchdowns to 1 interception. But that was against teams under 500. That was against Rep City, them Gettas, and Untouchables who dropped out. You know what those teams' combined record is? 0-9. Rep City has the worst defense in the league. Them Gettas has the 7th defense in the league, and Untouchables dropped out. So those are the numbers against those teams. His numbers against his last 2 games, which they lost against winning teams, he has 2 touchdown passes to 6 interceptions. The teams that 2 teams he lost to, 8-2-1. Grindtime, second best defense in the league, and they're tied with PME, who's tied for second. Ramsey can't beat good teams. The story of his career. You saw when G lost his head, cursing about a flag, a call. It cost him 15 yards. Mimi had an argument last week with Ramsey because Ramsey's not getting him the ball. Even though we saw Mimi kill his first week, Mimi didn't come today. They miss Mimi. Mimi can stretch the field. They miss Kenny. Kenny can stretch the field. This team is still searching for identity of a leader. Their defense is playing very well, you know, because their ability to put pressure on the quarterback. They're second in sacks. They're 4th in defense and in interceptions. But they're 6th in defense.
Yeah.
So they may pressure the quarterback. They may get interceptions, but they're not stopping everybody because of the fact that Ramsey has just thrown 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
In the last 2 games. After the first 3. He's killing this team, but they're searching for a leader, and I'm disappointed when I seen G react the way he did. I'm disappointed in the rest of these guys because we had nobody really step out and say, I'm the leader, we're going to do it this way.
And I expected Frankie to be that next guy to step up and get these guys under control. Because usually, you know, he is that guy. He is that guy that, you know, calms everybody down, gets them on task. But he, too, kind of, got into the the arguing with the refs and things like that. And I think that that's kind of what threw away their game. I don't think that's why they lost. I think that being Ramsey is why they lost, and they got to get him under control more than anything else. I think that a lot of plays he forces, a lot of decisions he makes that he shouldn't. I think that once they get that under control, I think that they're a better team for it.
How can you get something under control that a guy's been doing his whole career?
True.
How? He did this last season. He cannot beat winning teams.
Listen, I'll tell you this. If they're able to figure that out, they're almost a shoo-in to win a championship.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. It's a hard task to ask for.
You remember they said if was a what?
Yeah.
We all be what?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a lot to go by. A lot. I still say he's the most talented quarterback from the neck down. Because you can't go from 13 touchdowns, 1 interception in your first 3 games, all wins, to 2 touchdowns, 6 interception to your next 2 games, all losses. We're going to wrap this one up. Grind Time coming away with the win, 13-7. We'll be right back.